Hey, it's Dolly, and hope you're having a great Sunday. I was until Jerry told me to go upstairs and work out that he's been on the elliptical, and now it's my turn. He's left me some minutes to do. The elliptical is not one of my favorites, and in fact, this is what I've been enjoying lately. This is Pio by Shalane. So I'm going to do the elliptical. I did the recumbent earlier today, and then I'm going to do some weight training for my arms that's needed. And let's see what he's looking at, which one he's looking at. Anyway, I just want to encourage you because I have been just thanking the Lord for blessing me with Jerry. Because I constantly hear some of my friends saying that they're happy being by themselves. And I know it to be a fact. Oops, yeah. That if I were by myself, I might have given up trying to get my hips together. When I came out of surgery 3 years ago, my right hip was better than the left hip, which had surgery, I think 8 years prior to the right being replaced. And I was doing great when I came back to work, and then I was thrown immediately into turbulence, my first trip back. And I've yet to recapture the momentum I had when I came back after the surgery. And I just also want to encourage you, because it's been painful. In fact, last month I wasn't able to put my shoes on because I stubbed my toe on one of the weights that you see down there on the ground. I slipped into it doing the yoga. And pain has been great for me as far as keeping me sensitive and empathetic about other people's situations, especially when I go to work and see all the elderly. I'm not short with them because I understand pain. And there's pain you can even see, especially back pain and stuff. And when people look at me, I look very happy and youthful and stuff, but there's not a day go by where I'm not experiencing pain in my hips. But I don't let that overwhelm me, because God is greater than that. And I do believe, as I keep applying myself, that this is going to leave. I do my part and God will do his part. You know what I'm saying? So I'm believing by faith. So if you're going through any situation, and even emotional pain, I remember when I went through my divorce, I refused to get selfish about it and feel sorry for myself. I'm like, there are so many people going through the same thing I'm going through. And what I can do is learn to overcome and be victorious. So I can encourage and tell people how I got through and let them know there's life after divorce. And because I refuse to be bitter and chose to be happy, I do think that opened up the door for me to encounter my present husband. And because I was always happy for others, I think that also too opened the door. I celebrate relationships, never been envious of anyone with their relationship, because I believe what God has for me, God has for me. What God has for them is what God has for them, and I celebrate it. And not only that, it took 3 years for me to go through my divorce. And at the time, I was playing tennis and golf, and I took the opportunity when people would approach me. I would say I can't date, I'm going through a divorce, but I do have a girlfriend. In fact, 2 people had met people through that situation. And I was always promoting relationships. And I do promote companionship because if you hear me out clearly, 2 is better than 1. The key is to be with someone who cannot outgive you, and you be a person who cannot outgive them. And so then you both turn out quite blessed. And that's how I am with my husband. I try to bless his socks off, and he goes out his way to bless my socks off. So we end up both quite, happy. Of course, there's times he tells me no. Let's be real. I do have issues sometimes with shopping. But nevertheless, he still seeks out the best for me as I for him. And I want you all to make it a point to not stay stuck in your homes if you are still single. I want you to make it a point to get out and socialize. I think social activity is the best way to encounter someone that's compatible with you, because you've already met someone that has like interest. I'm always promoting that social activity group called Meetup for people. I used to do divorce care counseling when I was in Maryland with divorcees, and I will encourage the people to get active. Don't stay home feeling sorry for yourself. Don't worry about what the other person is doing. You need to focus on you getting your life back together, that there's life after breakup. And so I just want to encourage everyone to be free. And you find what you're looking for. So if you expect to meet, bad people, you're going to keep encountering these awful type of personalities. If you expect to meet someone wonderful, make sure you're wonderful too. And loving and kind and caring, make sure you're loving and kind and caring too. Then you will attract that. Okay? And refuse to repeat the war stories. Okay? Just choose to be happy. And don't stereotype people. You never know who God has out there for you. You don't know where they're at. Just move through life and enjoy life, and suddenly, that's how it happens, suddenly. Like I said, Jerry and I got married in less than 3 months, I believe, and I only saw him 4 times in person. And we're now in our 17th year, completing 17 years. So listening to God's voice, which I did, and I didn't want to be married at the time, but I chose to follow through, and it worked out quite well for me. I was very happy being single, but God knew what was ahead, because I really was grateful that I was able to be off 4 months at the time without working, because I had a husband who was able to take care of things. And the same thing again when I had the second hip replacement, because with my situation, I had no sick time. And I didn't have short-term disability, because we don't have that back in the U.S. Airways days. So, but I did have a husband. Thank you, Father God. So do not, think that you have to live life alone with no one to care for you. And if you find yourself being angry all the time, I got a suspicion that you're watching the news. Stay away from the news. They never like to report anything good. It's very negative. Don't get in debates and arguments about politics. Really, I'm anti-politics. What have they done for you lately? Really. Choose to move through life loving people. I am a Christian. I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ, because for me, true Christianity is someone who's choosing to be a walking love letter and walk like Jesus did. I'm not called to go out there and judge people and scope and seek out their sins. I have too much issues of my own. I'm called to make sure I deal with the log in my own eye. So if you're around a lot of critical people too, you can love them from afar. So the key is to surround yourself with people who are encouragers, and you make sure you're an encourager, and stay away from the news, and don't argue about the politics. I'm called to pray. I don't care who's in office. I'm going to pray for this nation and pray that they all come to their senses. Okay? And that's all I have to say. Let me get back to working out, because I know Jerry's, you don't know how he is, but I know how he is. He likes to monitor. He likes to be the inspector of my workout progression. So you have a great day. Be blessed. Life's too short to be without friends and companions. And just love. I can't say it enough. It grieves me so much of all this hate I'm hearing out here. Love those who don't even agree with you. People have a right to think the way they think, and Let God change each and every one of us. Don't go out there trying to change people. You think the way you think, that's your right. Let God be the one who does the changing in all of us. I'm not called to change you. I'm just called to love you where you're at, on to the way, to wherever you're going. So just choose to love. That's an anti-aging secret, FYI. It keeps wrinkles off, just FYI. Have a blessed day. Shalom.